All right. Wow, maybe mine will unblur itself eventually. There we go. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Rainbow Souls live weekly forecast. We're glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in. Good to have you with us, and I hope that you'll take this time to ask questions. You're welcome to post your chart or send it to me or give me your birthday or however works for you. Um, and I would love to answer your questions, and let's talk about the current transits a little bit, Bright Hawk. Like, what's happening this week with there's a grand cross happening with the moon. Um, I realize that there's a void moon at the end of it, so I think that's going to take away some of the bite to it. Thank God. A grand cross is, like kind of an X, a red X, and then all 4 points of the red X are in a square. The good news is that squares are typically solvable. A square, whether it's in your chart or in a transit, there's usually an answer. There's an answer, and that's that really that can really that's kind of hopeful, I think. Now, an opposition, which of course is the X, right? Well, those are going to be a little bit more troublesome in that, you know, usually have to find a balance, with an opposition. I have some oppositions in my chart. They definitely make things hard. If you have an opposition, just know that it's best to look for the balance. So I try to look at, usually when it's an opposition, it's two signs that are opposite each other, such as um, Aries and Libra, for instance, and they're opposite each other. And so what you want to do is you want to look at what's in the middle. Um, so when you start to look at what's in the middle, you can look at the signs that are in the middle and try to resonate with that energy instead. Um, Hi, Kiki Law. Gracious greetings to you. It's good to see you again. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. If you have any astrology questions, please throw them up. So this week there could be a little bit of tension building or stress building, and whatever that is, just know that it will reach its peak on Saturday. Um, it could create some oppositions or some stress or something to think about. Um, so I was just, putting that out there for all of you. Um, there's going to be a little bit of tension building up, particularly in the Capricorn Cancer opposition. Those two are opposite each other. And that's what kind of makes a Grand Cross hard, I suppose, is as I just said, in an opposition, you want to look at what's in the middle and try to sort of resonate with those areas. But of course, those also have planets in them opposite, which would be like Jupiter and I think it's like Mars, Venus, the Sun, right? All up in Capricorn all together. So that feels like a lot of energy, right? So, um,
So
so
let's talk about those oppositions. So we're talking about a lot of energy in Capricorn right now. It's Capricorn season. The Sun, Venus, and Mars are traveling really close together this week. There's like very little separating them. So those energies are amplified in Capricorn. Capricorn, of course, is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is the taskmaster, authority, the man, institutions, structure, infrastructure. Are you on task? Are you doing what you said you were going to do? It's very task oriented. Saturn is a taskmaster. Sometimes we talk about Capricorn being on the cool side. Obviously, it's a winter sign. Emotionally, they're on the cool side. They are on the opposite side of the sky from Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Cancer is about home and patriotism and Of course, the crab carries their home on their back. And of course, the energy that is in opposite of the stellium in Capricorn. Stellium means 3 or more planets in the same sign. So you have all this energy in Capricorn, and on the opposite side is Jupiter, the biggest energy in the sky, the biggest planet. So Jupiter, of course, is retrograde, and it's very strong in Cancer. It's exalted. And so Cancer is representative of all the things that we think of related to home and patriotism. And then on the other two oppositions, the other side, if you will, of this grand cross is the moon and Chiron. And right now, today, Monday, the moon is in Leo. But on Saturday, the moon will be in Libra, opposite Aries, right? So the moon and Chiron are in a conversation, and that has the potential to be very healing. Now, of course, Chiron talks to us about our wounded healer. It's the stuff we don't want to talk about. It's the medicine you would never ask for, but it is core to you learning what it is you need to learn. And so Chiron always reminds me in particular that we don't suffer for no reason. That when we have difficult challenges in our lives, it's really good to lean into Chiron. What do I need to learn here? What is it I'm missing? What do I need to how do I need to evolve? How can I grow from this? Really good questions get you really good quests, right? And so in this case, Chiron opposite the moon has a chance to speak to some energies that what needs healing. The fact that we have Mars, the Sun, and Venus all together opposite Jupiter means this energy is intense and it's building. But the good news, as Hollis said, is that void of course moon happens Sunday evening, all Saturday night into Sunday morning. So it starts at Saturday Eastern time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, all the way until 11 a.m. Sunday morning. So that will really speak to chilling off, cooling off. And important, really important. When you know something's building, at a certain point, it has to have a release cycle. We had a full moon on Saturday. We're shedding now. The moon is shedding. So what needs to be let go of? There we go. Go ahead,
So,
Hollis.
yeah, so I feel like with exactly what's happening and with Chiron at play here, Chiron's in Aries, it's really speaking to healing all parts of us, all the parts of us in our day to day life that need healing. And, with those energies, I feel like, you know, it takes um it takes a little bit of an open mind to accept the healing energies of Chiron, and Chiron is definitely of that. Now, make sure you tune into our broadcast on YouTube. We have a full broadcast for the week, along with horoscopes that are being released. Most of them have been released now. There's a couple more that will be released here very soon. Um, and we do this every week. We do a broadcast, and then on Monday nights, we come on live and answer your questions and try to do free readings and take a look at your chart for you or help you understand your chart a little bit better. So, please post your birthday. Torio, I see that that you're, let me just take care of that. I see that you're saying it's kind of weird wording. Um, and that's kind of a hard question to answer because I don't have your whole chart. I don't have your friend Michelle's chart. It's kind of a weird question to answer. So if you have a good question, maybe about your career, what's going on in your life, what kind of intensity do you have right now? We would love to take a look at it for you and give you an idea of what's happening this week in regards to your astrology, answer any questions you might, general questions about astrology. Both Bright Hawk and I are great teachers. I'm a Virgo, and and she's a Virgo rising. So that makes us really good at teaching. Virgo is a great teacher. In case you didn't know that, I also have Saturn in Cancer at the top of my chart, which makes me also a good teacher. And I know that Bright Hawk is a great storyteller, so she teaches through her stories, which are beautiful and powerful. And we are a great team, and we're a couple, and we love answering your questions about astrology. Astrology is a powerful tool. We were listening to a talk the other day, Bright Hawk. Uh, okay, my birthday is the 6th May 1987. Okay, I'm from South Africa. Okay, Stacy. Um, Oh, Happy New Year, Shaylin. Happy New Year. So let me pull your chart up here. Stacy, were you born in South Africa? What city were you born in South Africa?
So I'll just give a moment for that to happen. So if you're new to astrology, what makes astrology profound and helpful is if you know, of course, your birthday, time, and location. Those three things give us the exact snapshot of the sky when you were born. And if you know the time and location, then we can dial in exactly the house placements. So when we're talking about how there's a lot going on in Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, and Libra, if you have placements in one of those four signs or significant, like
Wow.
if one of those four signs is on your rising, for example, that's going to speak to you a lot about the intensity of this week. And we can help you understand that if we have those pieces of information. And we have astrology software that helps us do that fairly quickly. There's also free astrology charts available online. You can just Google search it, and there's lots of different wonderful sites. We provide a little job aid that helps you understand how to read those three. And if you need a little incentive to get that little job aid, it makes it just a few dollars. If you use the Live 50, and you'll get a 50% off the beginner's astrology guide, which helps you understand how to understand your sun, moon, and rising, and how to get a free chart. And we're always happy to answer your questions. Once you've done those basics, we can definitely get more in depth based on what your chart reveals. And of course, astrology, it takes years to learn, because it's really learning another language, and there's so many layers to it, and there's lots of different specialties in astrology, different types of astrology that you can really deep dive in. So once you start studying the basics of astrology, it's very easy to go, ooh, I want to go over there, I want to go over there. And Hollis has an incredibly well-versed background in understanding medical astrology, timing, when we're looking at relationships, or when people have questions about their job. So relationships, we're going to look very closely at Venus and how Venus is aspected. If you want to know, what's my life purpose, what's my job, my career, my work, what's going to happen in that regard, we're looking at Saturn, and that tells us a lot about how your work in the world and your purpose and things like that might be. Right now, one of the reasons why every astrologer that I know of and have heard from in has pointed to 2026 as one of these pivotal years where everything will change. You've heard about what is the age of Aquarius? Well, Pluto is in Aquarius. Pluto is the planet of transformation. When it enters a sign, it's there for 20 years. Aquarius is a sign of transformation, revolution. It's a we sign. It's about community. It's about what is for the greatest good of all. Really important question. So, these are some of the things that we love to share, just little snippets of questions, how we look at certain questions, how the astrology chart can reveal just so much. And the truth of the matter is if you really want to give yourself a favor, get a reading with Hollis. They're really, really incredible. A lot of people are doing readings right now. Tell me how to ride 2026, so to speak. And it's just so helpful to have a blueprint, a map of, okay, certain things are going to happen in February that are going to be really intense for everybody, and then more things are going to happen, and revelations are going to happen, and redos are going to happen. And that's why we like to take this time and try to help people out and answer any questions you might have, and try to understand what it means for you specifically, because each person's chart is so unique and it will have different messages for each of us. Go ahead, Hollis.
Hold on. Sorry about that. I was putting in one last person's birthday. Yeah, and the thing is about, your astrology chart is it literally is your map to life. So if you're ever lost about any topic in your life, everything from relationships to money, and everything in between, jobs, careers, children, you name it, and you find very quickly that um, that astrology can provide you with a lot of insight and guidance on how to tackle things and how to work through things. And I'm taking a look first here at Stacy and Juan in South Africa. And let me just say that, first of all, looking at the two of you together as a couple, you guys are very aligned. The good news is that Juan will be a little bit better at providing some structure, and this would be very helpful for you, Stacy, because you'll need that structure to help you get grounded, particularly like in community and neighbors and things like that. And you guys are headed in the same direction, which is also a great news. And Stacy, you're really good at helping Juan get in touch with his emotions and things like that. And at least you try anyway. And Juan, there could be times that you're a little bit more practical and a little bit more grounded with that Mars, though, on Stacy's ascendant. That could sometimes kind of drive her a little bit crazy sometimes. But you guys, for the most part, you guys have a lot of what I call synastry. One, you're very good at being able to speak truth. Um, I can see that there's definitely some challenges and some strengths in your relationship. I'm not sure exactly what you want to know. Um, and right now in this year, there's a lot going on for you, Stacy. A lot of changes. There's going to be some surprise changes coming your way, particularly in 2026, and for you too, Juan. Um, Jean, sorry, it's probably Jean. Jean Pierre. With the movement from Pisces into Aries, there could be some shifts in relationships. And for you, Stacy, it could have something to do maybe with money, other people's money, or even or topics around death and other sort of uncomfortable, what I call uncomfortable or taboo topics, okay? Including things like astrology and magic and things like that. I would also say, what does our financial path look like career wise? Okay, thanks for honing it in there, Stacy, helping me know where to go with this. Um, I want to say, Stacy, you probably have had numerous job changes. And I want to say that that's actually your healing because it will eventually lead you to working from home. And I think that eventually working from home will actually be good for you. But first, you have to jump around at jobs to learn certain skills. So I don't want you to give yourself too hard of a job, too hard of a time about that, about jumping around from job to job. And I don't know if these times are exactly right, but I'm assuming that they are or they're close to right. And Jean, you're about to have a big surprise in career. I think it will be good. And if you have any investments, there could be some surprises around that. But I think it's going to be a good thing. And as far as like just flat out money goes, you've had to let some things go around money, but I feel like that's going to slow down for you, Jean. It will slow down for you. It will be changing very soon. And soon it will be shifting more into your relationships and your identity. But for sure, the things around money that you've had to like let go of or move away from, just let those things go. Don't hold on to them too tightly. Okay. Now, Stacy, she said she lost her job in December. Oh, okay. JP works for himself. Okay. Um, he could have some surprises though in relation to his work somehow. Could just be like an investment comes through or something like that. It'd probably be in like February, March. Stacy lost her job in December. I can see that. Okay. But I think you'll have something if you're not working from home yet. Stacy, you have a kite in your chart, and this is very strong. This kind of you while you have some oppositions, those oppositions help you fly high. So, and actually the oppositions are in relation to your community and your work in the world. So I feel like you're going to find your way through this losing your job thing. And although what the most important thing for you to do is to make sure that you communicate in the cleanest way and direct way as possible without bragging. Okay. So this would mean to be able to talk good about yourself without bragging. And that will be something that could be helpful for you in this time. But I feel like you're going to do really well, Stacy. There's some good things coming your way as far as money goes. Okay. Shaylin, I have your chart too. I seen that you posted. I don't know if there was a particular area that you were hoping for, but one of the things that I would point out right away is that you have, oh gosh, you have like two planets and a asteroid in Capricorn. So this Grand Cross is probably going to be intense around relationships or children. Um, uh, this is going to be a little bit of stress around the so Capricorn is in your fifth and sixth house, so it's going to be around relationships, children, day-to-day life, work. Okay. Um, Especially like maybe your coworkers or anything like that going on. And the good news is you don't have placements in all of the areas, but I do feel like there's going to be some emotional things about taking care of yourself, day-to-day life. Do you have any kids, Shaylin? Are you in a romantic relationship? Maybe you feel like you need a romantic relationship or something. Something's going to be coming up for you this week. This week's transits will definitely affect, like I said, the romantic or children or creative endeavors, uh, anything that you might create, and it's gonna interact with your Cancer moon. You're definitely going to notice this week's Grand Cross. It will amplify and peak on Saturday, but then it will kind of chillax. Okay. Um,
So I'll go ahead and talk to Ashley. Ashley, I went ahead and pulled your chart. Wow, I just have to say it's going to be an intense one for you. The Grand Cross is in very significant houses for you. So you're obviously an Aries sun and you're a Gemini rising. The stellium in Capricorn right now, that includes Venus, the Sun, and Mars, and Mercury has also joined the party in Capricorn as well. In addition to, well, we'll leave that out. I just want to overwhelm you. Okay, all of that is sitting in your 8th house. On top of your north node is at 24 Capricorn. And when the Grand Cross happens, it's at 21 degrees, 21, 22. Yeah. So anyone who has, when you look at your chart, if you have things at 20, 21, 22, that's the degree that's going to be sort of ringing the bell in this Grand Cross. So this Grand Cross, the stellium that we've been talking about, the Sun, Venus, and Mars, is on top of your North Node, your future, your destiny, your fate, your direction in life, what you came here to do. That is at 24 for you. It's also, you have Neptune and Uranus conjunct. You're part of the Neptune-Uranus generation in Capricorn. And Neptune speaks to our dreams and visions, and Uranus speaks to revolution, change, surprise a minute, change you could never have seen happen. Like, oh my God. Okay, and all of this is happening in your 8th house. What does that mean? The 8th house is the house of sex, death, and taxes, as we like to say. It's things people don't like to talk about. It's the occult. It's money issues. Okay, so the 8th house is obviously opposite the 2nd house. The 2nd house is where your Chiron and South Node are conjunct at 21 and 24 degrees. And then just a little scooch over, your Jupiter is 3 degrees Leo. It's in the 3rd house, though. The 2nd house speaks to our values and money, other people's money in the 2nd house. And you have Jupiter, Chiron, the South Node, all having a conversation in the 2nd house. So if money is up for you, if there are issues around money, you're going to be feeling that quite a bit. Everything feels heavy. I can completely validate that. And then you said, I have a Capricorn stellium, 5th. Oh no, sorry. This is okay. Saturn, Uranus, both 0 degrees Cap. Okay, that's a different person. Okay, sorry. So anyway, this is a lot going on, and you can handle this. It's good to know what the houses are so that you know how to sort of surf it. Okay, good luck. And of course, we have Hollis. Why do you keep going out of focus? That's so weird. Okay. Right. So hopefully that's helpful.
Sorry, just trying to get my camera to wake up there. Look, it works. Okay. Ashley said everything you said. Bright Hawk makes sense. Great. Okay. If you want us to look at your chart, just put your birthday, date, time, and year, and the city that you were born in is also very helpful. Chelsea, I have your chart. I do indeed. And I think you asked, I'd love a chart reading specifically around career and finances or anything that stands out. Um, I think what you're feeling for there, Chelsea, is actually, you know what? I think well, you're still experiencing you're still in a major transition right now, Chelsea. I think that this transit's not going to be too heavy on you, mostly but the area that it is going to be heavy is, how do I take care of myself? How do I care for myself? Am I not taking care of myself? Am I putting my self care on the back burner? Those are the kinds of things that are going to come up for you, Chelsea. Day to day life, and how you take care of yourself, and how you talk to yourself, how your relationships are involved in your self care, and how that comes up for you. That's really what's going to be coming up for you, Chelsea, during this week, this Grand Cross. So, I would suggest that you make sure you work on self care this week. Really focus in on self care, because I think that's what you're sensing, is that there's something that you're not taking care of, or maybe you're not doing enough self care, or whatever it is. Hey, Alyssa, we haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. I do have your chart. I pulled it up for you because I was just curious because of what you were saying there. Sometimes it's hard to follow, like when someone lists things like that. And the one thing that I notice is that you have Saturn in Capricorn, Alyssa, but it is in the early degrees rather than in the later degrees. In the later degrees, Cap is in your sixth house. So you might be experiencing some heaviness around day to day life, your health, things of that nature. And with that going on, as well as um, work and expansion around work, especially with like Saturn and Neptune approaching Aries, Chiron at the top there. There might be some sort of healing you're experiencing or in need of, particularly maybe around work or health, or both, or like the intermingle of the two, if that makes sense. Because, of course, they kind of equal each other a lot. What you do for work often influences your health, and vice versa. So I would be aware of that, Alyssa, that the Aries, Libra thing, and the Capricorn, Cancer thing, that Grand Cross, that's where they're going to be at. They're going to be touching your fifth and sixth house, your ninth and 10th house. It's more in the later degrees. So it's more like the sixth and the 12th house, the 10th house, like your MC, and your IC, which is like kind of how you feel about yourself. And since the moon's going to be down in the bottom of your chart there on your IC, it's probably going to create a little bit of like feeling very emotionally sensitive about who you are. Okay. So I feel like that's going to be the theme for you, Alyssa. Um, and Hannah's opening her chart right now.
I've pulled Mandy's chart.
Oh, you got Mandy's chart. Go for it.
Okay, so Mandy, some of the things Hollis just said totally apply to you, because this is taking place, part of it is taking place in your first house, okay? And our first house is about our identity, how we show up for ourselves and others, and our physical body, okay? So you're a Sag rising, and you have Capricorn in the first house. So Mercury, Mars, Sun, Venus are all in your first house. and they're in conversation with your Mercury at 15 degrees. So and you also have Venus in the 12th and Neptune in the 1st. So they're straddling the ascendant. What does that mean? It means that in Venus in the 12th house means that sometimes maybe understanding your sexuality is mysterious to you, because 12th house tends to be our blind spot. It tends to be the things we don't see, the things we're just not aware of. I know all about the 12th house. I have a stellium in the 12th house. It can be also the house of self-sabotage. The fact that you have Venus there means that sometimes you might be occasionally confused about relationships and sexuality. Now, the first house, opposite the first house, is the 7th house, which is all about relationships. And that's where Jupiter is sitting. So remember, we're talking about that Cancer Capricorn axis. For you, a lot of energy about yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you're taking care of yourself, how you're showing up for yourself. And then what is that conversation about in relationship to your relations? Are you communicating in a good way with those folks? Because you have Mercury in the 1st house. So that's one axis. Then the other axis, the moon will be passing over your Pluto in Libra, and that's in the 10th house, opposite the Chiron, which is sitting in the 4th house, which is about family. So is there a healing conversation that can happen relative to family? Is there a healing relationship that can, a healing conversation that can happen in relationship? It feels like with Pluto involved there, that relationships are changing, possibly transforming, and how is that being managed? With the moon involved, it could feel very emotional, of course. And how are we communicating, and hopefully being really mindful of communicating in a good way. So I hope that helps you a little bit, Mandy. That's where it's going to be showing up for you. You said, yeah, and yeah. Okay, so yeah. Thanks. All right. Go ahead, Hollis. You could take the next one.
Okay, first of all, I wanted to say that you can book with either of us at psychicinsights.life. If you take a look, I was just like, is that the right website? Did I type that right? So if you take a look, we are at both of us are at psychicinsights.life. We both do astrology readings. And so you can book with either one of us, whoever resonates for you the most. And Hannah, I just wanted to say, Mandy said a lot of it is 100% Bright Hawk. Okay. Hannah, I seen that you were trying to bring up your chart. I am looking at your chart, and hopefully you're looking at your chart too, Hannah. And if you take a look down there at the 5th piece of the pie, the says, like, you see the inner circle that has the numbers 1 through 12. It kind of goes down around and back over to the left there. It's in the inner circle 1 through 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the number 5 there. And hopefully you know the Capricorn symbol. It's usually kind of a brown or golden color. And it kind of looks like a V with like a weird wiggly line on it. And that's Capricorn. And you'll see that you have Venus, which kind of looks like the female symbol. You have Uranus, which is that blue symbol that's kind of weird looking. And then you have Mercury, which is like the female symbol, but it's got little horns on the top, which is, that's why it's non-binary. You have Neptune, which is kind of looks like the 3-pronged fork. And then you got Saturn, which kind of looks like an H. And you got the North Node, all in Capricorn. So what I'm going to say, Hannah, it's also in your 5th house. So because of all that energy, particularly Saturn at 23 degrees, you can see it says 23 and then it has like the little degree symbol, and it says the North Node at 28 degrees. Um, and so Hannah, that's your children. And this is aren't you a recent empty nester, Hannah? This is going to have to do with how you take care of yourself and your friends and your social networks and what you're doing like in your life that's fun. Are you having fun? Are you doing fun things? You've probably lost the concept of fun because you've been a single mom and you've been raising kids all these years. And now your home is really quiet. And now it's time for you to find out who you are. And that's really what's going on. And this Grand Cross could be really intense in that way for you. I want you to focus on taking care of yourself, okay? I want you to make some plans Friday, Saturday. Um, do something that's really fun for you. Do something that you really enjoy. Um, and it's also going to be speaking to healing the wounds in your heart. You're having a Chiron square. And Chiron squares, to be frank with you, I've actually been through a couple Chiron squares, and they're actually quite difficult. Sort of like the Saturn square can sometimes be a little difficult too. Um, and it's when Chiron's in a square to your natal Chiron. So, and that's what's happening right now. It's actually in Aries and it's squaring yours. Chiron is the one at the top there that kind of looks like a little bit of a key. It's in Cancer, which kind of likes that blue 69. It's like a sideways 69 and it's blue, and there's like a little horseshoe like thing right next to it, and then there's like this little green key, and that's called Chiron. And that's the wounded healer, which is a great story. If you listen to this week's forecast, Bright Hawk does a great job of telling the story of Chiron. So make sure you listen to that and really pay attention to that, because yours is going to be lit up in this Grand Cross this week, and it's going to build up in this weekend. And I'm pretty sure that is going to speak to the wounds that you feel by being a mother, everything you've sacrificed for your kids, everything you've sacrificed for them, and in that, that's a wound. Okay, and then there's also the healing of that wound. So pay attention to the story that Bright Hawk tells in the forecast. Make sure you get the forecast um, for Virgo, for Sagittarius, and for Scorpio. Listen to all three. Now, the Scorpio one's going to be more about your emotional state, but because the moon is there and because some of this is happening in Cancer, I think that that's going to apply to you this week. And then plus your Virgo rising and your Sagittarius. So take all three of those and kind of put them all together, and that's going to be your week, okay? And I'm just going to say that it'll feel like someone pulled a plug by Saturday night, okay? But in the meantime, try to focus on self-care, try to find things that are fun, try to figure out what it is you like, and try to see this time as a time of exploration, of rediscovering yourself, because you're not who you were before your kids were born. And now that your kids are raised and they're leaving your home and you're an empty nester, let's just face it, life is different now. And you have different priorities and different things feel fun. So just try to see it as rediscovering yourself. Don't try to go back and be something you were when you were 20 or something like that. Just don't even do that. Just instead, just see it as rediscovering yourself. Who are you now? So, Hannah, I think that's a great idea. Getting back into your art is a great outlet. You see all that stuff in the fifth house? That's the house, that house where everything is happening. That's the house of art and creativity. That's an excellent way to plan things. And maybe you need to take some art classes. Maybe Bright Hawk has a great artist that she looks at her artwork online. You could absolutely, Bright Hawk, you can reach out to her, and Bright Hawk will be happy to give you that link. Okay. She's like free on YouTube or something. You can watch her videos, and she has watercolors and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know what kind of art you do, but she said, I just posted a drawing. Hannah, are you doing they these days? I just posted a drawing that I did today. It felt so good drawing again. Oh, that's so great, Hannah. I'm so glad. That's so awesome. I'm going to suggest that you focus in on that, even if, even if it's not what it used to be, or it's different, or you express it differently. Try to be open to exploring your talent the way it is now. Okay. And being open to exploring the new you, the new creative you, and who is the new you that is emerging. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this live. We have enjoyed it. I know Brighthawk and I enjoy doing these lives and looking at your charts. And we hope to catch you next week, the same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Monday nights, 7 o'clock. Um, you can totally hang out with us, bring your questions. Make sure you check out the main on YouTube. I'll put the link to this week's forecast. So check it out. This week's forecast is there in the comments. I just posted it. Make sure you watch that, and also look at our shorts. We love it if you share it, if you follow us, like, share. Please even share this live. Let people know about us. Let people know and invite them to come get their questions or to get a little mini astrology reading. And I'm always happy to go deep diving into your chart with you. You know, what I'm doing here is just a quick insight. And I love to hear about people always want to come back to me, and I love to hear about when I successfully predicted whatever. That's great validation for me, and I'm sure Brighthawk too. So we love to hear from you. We love to hear what's going on in your life. We love to hear how that's going. Take care of yourself this week. Focus in on self-care. We've been focusing in on that this week, and I think that's an important part. And hopefully you can also check out my link at Mystics Academy. Make sure you check out Mystics Academy. Mystics Academy is my new academy on Patreon. And it is a um sort of it's not just about astrology or just about mediumship. It's actually it's hold on. It's actually kind of a little bit of everything, from witchcraft to astrology to to mysticism. Okay. It's all mysticism. That's why I call it that. Okay. That's why I'm calling it Mystics Academy. And you know what? If you join Mystics Academy, you can come to um, our weekly party. Monthly party. We actually have a bunch of different things that happen. And um, you can just go to patreon.com/mystics academy. And it's actually a really awesome thing, because if you're a member of Mystics Academy and you want to get a reading, let's say your readings tier, you're paying $11, but you save like $25. Unless this past month you would have saved, if you join before January 11th, you actually save $40 on a reading. And then it was just my Yule gift, my New Year's Eve gift. Now, if you join as a Mystic Novice, you get access to all the learning materials. Not only do we have a readings party that you can attend, but you can also learn with us, come to the practice readings, come to the guided meditations and practice yourself. Um, and so I hope that you will take some time to check out Mystics Academy. It's doing really well, and I appreciate all the support. It's a great way to support me. And for $37 a month, you end up saving $50 a month on a package. Yeah, Hannah, if you're a paying member, you should definitely take advantage of it. If you want a reading, you're going to save money. It's $37. I don't remember what tier you're under, Hannah, but make sure you watch out. Most of our this month's December's sort of events have already happened, but I will be announcing next month. And this month in January, we're actually focusing in on self care and healing. So I hope you take the time to check out Mystics Academy. Thanks for being a supporting member, Hannah. I so deeply appreciate that. I appreciate all of you for being part of this live tonight, and I hope we get to see you again. And we look forward to seeing you next week. All right? Thanks for listening to Rainbows and Astrology.